There are books that entertain, books that inform, and books that inspire. But there are also books so dangerous, so powerful, that they were hidden, burned, or locked away in secret chambers. One of these is said to reveal nothing less than the secrets of the human soul, its true origin, its hidden powers, and its ultimate destiny. For centuries, whispers of this forbidden manuscript have haunted the halls of occult libraries, passed from teacher to disciple in silence and shrouded in warnings. Those who open it may never see reality the same way again. But what knowledge could possibly be so transformative, so unsettling, that rulers, priests, and even mystics themselves feared its spread? Imagine a book that not only describes the architecture of your inner being, but offers the keys to unlock hidden doors within your consciousness. A book that dares to answer the questions most philosophies leave unspoken. What is the soul? Where does it come from? And what unimaginable powers lie dormant within it? In this exploration, we will journey into the shadowy corridors of history and spirit, unearthing the truths encoded within this mysterious text. You will discover why it was concealed, what it teaches about the essence of who you are, and how fragments of its wisdom still echo through ancient traditions. Stay with me, for what follows is not just a story. It is an initiation into secrets that were never meant to reach ordinary ears. Legends tell us that this forbidden book was not written in a single lifetime, nor by a single hand. Instead, it was woven together like a tapestry across centuries, carrying the fingerprints of sages, mystics, and philosophers from civilizations long reduced to dust. Some traditions claim it began in ancient Egypt, preserved in fragments attributed to Thoth, the god of wisdom, whose emerald tablets spoke of the soul's immortality and its capacity to traverse the realms beyond death. Others trace its whispers to the mystery schools of Greece, where initiates of Pythagoras and Plato were taught that the soul was not bound to the body, but a traveler in a far greater cosmic drama. By the Middle Ages, this hidden knowledge resurfaced in cloistered monasteries and secret societies, encoded in alchemical treatises and hermetic manuscripts. The book, it was said, contained maps of the invisible world, maps so detailed that the church feared they might unchain the soul from obedience. For if humanity realized the divine spark it carried, no crown, no altar, no empire could rule it. At its core, the book reveals that the soul is not a passive passenger in the human body, but a force, an eternal flame, clothed temporarily in matter. To those who read it, the soul appeared less like a theological abstraction and more like a living current of energy, shaping thought, emotion, and even destiny. The text drew upon the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. Just as the stars move in grand harmony, so too does the soul follow hidden patterns, its rhythm echoing the cosmos itself. But herein lay the danger. To reveal the mechanics of the soul was to reveal the machinery of creation. What priest could hold authority if the common man understood he carried the temple within himself? What monarch could command obedience if the soul knew it was eternal, ungoverned, and infinite? Thus the book was hidden, sometimes destroyed, sometimes renamed, but never truly erased. For knowledge of this magnitude cannot be killed. It migrates like the soul itself, taking new forms across cultures and ages. Mystics in the East spoke of the Atman, the divine self, which is eternal and unchanging. The Sufis whispered of the Ruh, the breath of God moving within man. In Taoist texts, the soul was described as a field of vital energy, capable of refinement and ascension. Each of these traditions carries an echo of what the forbidden book laid bare. The soul is the true essence of man, a fragment of the infinite, clothed in mortality only for the sake of experience. Philosophers debated whether this knowledge was too vast, too raw for ordinary minds. For if the soul's secrets were revealed, could humanity use them wisely, or would such power be corrupted, leading not to liberation but to ruin? And so the book slipped between shadows, its pages turning up in esoteric circles, guarded by oaths of silence, hidden behind metaphors, and accessible only to those prepared to wield its truths with reverence. To understand the Forbidden Book is not merely to read ancient words, it is to confront a paradox, that we are both mortal and eternal, bound to flesh yet limitless in spirit. And this is where its mystery deepens, because the book does not just describe the soul, it offers a path to experience it directly. The Forbidden Book begins with a striking revelation. The soul is not a static entity. It is not some invisible ornament attached to the body, nor merely a promise of life after death. Instead, it is described as a living architecture, a luminous body woven of thought, energy, and memory, constantly shaping and reshaping itself. To illustrate this, the text uses a powerful image, the soul as a mirror. Not a cold, lifeless reflection, but a mirror that bends and molds reality according to what it receives. Every thought you harbor, every emotion you nurture, every intention you release is etched upon this mirror. Over time, the soul does not just carry your experiences, it becomes them. This is why some mystics say, "You are not a soul with memories, you are memory becoming a soul." The book teaches that the soul is composed of layers. The outermost is the vital sheath, the part of us that animates breath, movement, and sensation. Beneath it lies the emotional sheath, where passions, fears, and desires circulate. Deeper still is the mental sheath, the domain of ideas and imagination. And beyond these, hidden like a pearl within layers of shells, is the luminous core, the eternal essence, untouched and incorruptible. But here lies the secret. These layers are not sealed from one another. They bleed into each other, shaping how we live and perceive reality. A disturbance in the emotional sheath clouds the mind. A fragmented mental sheath disrupts the body. Harmony, then, is not achieved by perfecting one layer, but by aligning them all, body, heart, and mind, revolving around the radiant core. The Forbidden Book warns, most men live only on the surface, mistaking the outer layers for the soul itself. They chase passions, cling to fleeting thoughts, and exhaust their vitality, never glimpsing the eternal flame within. To awaken is to pierce these veils and remember that you are not the sheath, but the light. And yet this truth is left incomplete in the early chapters, deliberately so, for the deeper question still remains. If the soul is eternal light, why has it chosen to descend into the prison of flesh? The Forbidden Book does not shy away from the most haunting paradox of all. Why would something eternal and infinite confine itself within the fragile shell of human life? The answer it gives is both unsettling and liberating, because descent into matter is not a punishment, but a choice. The soul, luminous and whole, enters the labyrinth of flesh, not to lose itself, but to discover itself anew through limitation. The text uses the metaphor of a flame entering a lantern. The flame is unchanged, but the glass colors and shapes the light. Likewise, when the soul incarnates, its brilliance is refracted through body, mind, and emotion. We do not lose our divinity. We experience it in fragments, shadows, and trials, until the lantern itself is polished enough to let the pure flame shine again. But here lies a dangerous idea, one reason the book was condemned. If the soul chose this descent, then suffering is not meaningless. Struggle, grief, even loss, all become catalysts, alchemical fires in which the soul tempers its strength. To reveal this was to dismantle the notion of blind obedience to external powers. The soul's journey is not dictated by priest or ruler. It is authored from within. Still, the book warns against arrogance. To know that the soul is eternal is not to claim mastery, but to accept responsibility. For every thought scribed upon the mirror of the soul, every deed imprinted in its layers, follows us beyond the grave. Karma, destiny, fate. These are not punishments handed down from above, but the natural echoes of our own vibration. And so the soul's secret is twofold. You are eternal, yet bound by the patterns you weave. You are infinite, yet responsible for every ripple of your energy. Few could bear such knowledge without misusing it. This is why the book was hidden, because power without discipline becomes destruction, and freedom without wisdom becomes chaos. Yet, for those who dare, it whispers a promise. The human being is not a fallen creature crawling toward salvation, but a divine traveler, learning to remember its own wings. The forbidden book, though cloaked in metaphor and allegory, does not leave the seeker without tools. It insists that the secrets of the soul are not to be worshipped from a distance, but experienced directly. And it offers practices, subtle, deceptively simple, that open the gates of perception. The first is the art of stilling the outer layers. Just as muddy water clears when undisturbed, so too does the soul reveal its brilliance when body, mind, and heart fall into stillness. The book prescribes silent contemplation, not prayer to an external deity, but listening inwardly, as if waiting for a forgotten voice to rise from the depths. 10 minutes daily, sitting in silence with eyes closed, is said to awaken the first whisper of recognition that you are more than thought, more than flesh. The second is breath as a ladder. Breath, it teaches, is the bridge between the visible and the invisible. By drawing air deeply into the lower belly, holding and releasing it slowly, the seeker begins to feel the flow of subtle energy, the soul's current moving through the body. Practiced consistently, this simple act transforms into a doorway, leading from the physical sheath into the luminous interior. The third is the discipline of self-observation. Each thought and emotion leaves a trace upon the mirror of the soul. To notice anger as it arises, to watch fear without surrendering to it, to name desire without being consumed. This is the work of polishing the glass of the lantern. The book insists, mastery is not the absence of shadow, but the awareness that light can shape it. Finally, the text speaks of intention as command. To set an intention with clarity and focus is to impress upon the soul a pattern that reality itself begins to follow. But it warns, intention corrupted by selfishness twists the mirror, reflecting chaos back upon its bearer. Only intentions born from the core, the silent, luminous center, carry the power to transform without destruction. For the modern seeker, these practices are not relics. They are steps, accessible and practical, to reclaim sovereignty over one's inner world. Begin with breath, with silence, with observation, and slowly the veils thin. You will discover that the soul is not a mystery to be solved, but a presence to be remembered. The forbidden book has always been more than ink on parchment. It is a mirror, daring each reader to confront the truth of who and what they are. Those who sought to destroy it misunderstood its essence. For you cannot burn the soul's secrets, only delay their unveiling. Across temples and tombs, monasteries and secret orders, its wisdom endured because it speaks to something indestructible within us. We have seen how this mysterious text reveals the soul as both eternal and evolving, clothed in layers yet untouched at its core. We have uncovered why its knowledge was veiled, because to know the soul is to know freedom, and freedom is the one force no ruler, no priest, no empire can contain. We have traced its echoes in Hermetic maxims, Eastern philosophies, Sufi poetry, and Taoist breathwork, all rivers flowing back to the same ocean. But remember, this book does not grant easy comfort. It does not promise escape from suffering, nor blind salvation. Instead, it hands you a key and whispers, "The door has always been within you. The soul descends into matter not to be enslaved, but to awaken. Every obstacle becomes a teacher. Every shadow is a test. Every breath a reminder that you are more than the shell you inhabit." So the question is no longer whether the forbidden book exists on some dusty shelf. The real question is whether you will dare to open the one already written within your being. Are you willing to polish the lantern until the flame shines clear? Are you ready to wield intention with discipline and to live as if every thought shapes eternity? The choice, as always, is yours. The secrets of the soul are not waiting in distant heavens. They are pulsing within your very breath. Step into silence, into awareness, and you will see. The forbidden book is not forbidden at all. It is alive within you, waiting to be read. If these words stirred something in you, let that be your first step. Reflect, practice, and explore further. Share your thoughts below. What do you believe the soul truly is? And remember, you are not merely a seeker of hidden truths. You are the truth, seeking to remember itself.